I'm Matt Carey, documentary editor at Deadline.com. Welcome to the Deadline studio at the Cannes Film Festival. I am with Mariska Hargitay, who is the director, first-time director. Her new film is My Mom, Jayne, about her late mother, Jayne Mansfield. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Such a pleasure to be here.
Wow, I was at the premiere last night, an extraordinary moment. Obviously so emotional for you and your family.
Truly.
Share that with an audience that knows your mother, knows cinema, loves cinema.
Yeah, it was an extraordinary once-in-a-lifetime moment, and the first time I'd seen it with an audience that wasn't family and friends. So it was so beautiful to experience it with them and see what they responded to, and that was meaningful.
Your mom was very much associated with Cannes. She came, and as we were talking, there's photographs of her around here, and so for you to come here, that's a full circle moment.
It's full circle, and as I said to Thierry last night, one of the things that was so meaningful to me is that the photos, obviously I've grown up with images of my mother. There were certainly a lot taken, but the photos of her in Cannes, in particular, was always so meaningful to me because of how free and happy and in love she was with my father. And so those photos were always kind of seared, this emotional place in my heart. So to be here, to bring her back here and to tell her story was quite meaningful.
It's a deeply moving film, and really your opportunity to, in a sense, reconnect with your mother, who you unfortunately didn't really get to know because she passed when you were so young. But it's so poignant in the film to hear that you speak about her and having a sense of shame. And this had to do with your mother's public image, which really wasn't her. But that was kind of the role she was thrust into, of the bombshell. And so she was treated in a certain way. But can you talk about that a little bit, about carrying that with you for so long?
Yeah. So that was the thing. You know, I've always been somebody who's very affected by people's voices, as I said to you before. And from such a young age, I just would hear her voice in that sort of, presentational character that she was playing. And it used to upset me. And I also didn't really appreciate the sort of bombshell image and didn't like some of the choices she made. And so I felt myself being embarrassed by her and just wanting like a normal mom and a regular mom and to pick me up from school and like that. So it was something that, and as things sort of went south, I just felt like I dissociated myself and sort of exercised and said, I don't want to be part of that and I want to do it differently.
And we get to experience a very different Jayne Mansfield than the public image. Your mother, obviously quite a brilliant woman, spoke many languages, played the violin, classical piano. She was a gifted actress. She maybe didn't get those opportunities, but this is a woman of real substance and real talent.
Thank
we didn't
you.
necessarily get to explore that in Hollywood.
Well, that's what I was so interested in, is finding out who was this soul behind this image. And when I found out, and my grandparents had always told me that she played violin and my grandfather played violin and my grandmother was a piano teacher. And so my mother played piano quite well and for so long since she was a child. And so seeing all this artistry and seeing that she never was able to do the kinds of films or make the kind of art that she wanted to was so intriguing. And I wanted to know that story and again, get to know the person. I just longed and ached to know the real person and what made her tick and what made her afraid and, what was her pain and her joy and all of that.
And part of the pain, as we hear, was she lost her father when she was 3, and you were 3 when you lost your mother. So, my goodness, there's that trajectory of your lives that you bear that trauma.
In common.
Yes.
And that was another thing, because of course I was looking for ways that we were similar. And I got to find that, and it made me just understand. And it's been such a beautiful, excavation. And I look at it like an archaeological dig, an emotional, archaeological dig. And it was a bumpy ride emotionally, as you can imagine, but a deeply rewarding and fulfilling one. And I've been such a huge fan of documentary filmmaking, and I would say that's my hobby. And
you've been involved in some documentaries
Yeah.
and producing them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My first one I did with my producer, Tricia Lesick. We did I Am Evidence about
Yes.
the backlog of untested rape kits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw that
It's-
film. It's a fantastic documentary.
Thank you.
An important
Thank you.
documentary.
But this was my first directing.
Yes.
And I'd only done episodic television. I directed
Mhm.
my show, and it's a very different experience. But I have to say, it was so deeply exciting to me because one of the things that I found, I've always loved post and the process of editing. That's always been fascinating to me. And, you learn what you can make or break your performance and what you can fix and, how you can chisel a piece of art with the editing. But the post in terms of the sound mix and the color correction and was the most fun I had ever had. And it was like this new terrain. I felt like I was on another planet of creativity because I learned so much of what we can do in there that I had never done before. So it was a very exciting process.
It's quite beautifully edited, and the music is fantastic. So it's a very rich
Thank you.
experience. Your siblings and half-siblings are in the film. As we learned in the film, it's a complicated family tree.
Yeah.
There are many branches on it. There are revelations in the film. In the context of this interview, what, if anything, do you want to say about that, or do you want to let people just experience the film and learn about those revelations?
I want to say that it's an invitation. But if I may go back, you mentioned the editing. I just want to recognize my amazing editor, J.D. Marlowe, who was so masterful in this and assembling all the archival. And it was so beautifully done. And it was so beautiful to share sort of a heart and brain on this process. It's such an intimate process, obviously, director and editor. And I felt the same way about my composer, Mac Lichtenstein, who the soundtrack was, I thought, magnificent. And he did such a beautiful job. And again, my producer, Tricia Lesick, was spectacular. So it's all in the team, right? It's all in the team.
It's very much a collaborative art form, and you've been involved with those your entire life. Your film is coming to HBO.
Yes.
Are you allowed to say when it will premiere?
I absolutely am, and I'm
excellent.
proud to say that it will be coming out on June 27th on HBO.
Oh, very soon,
Yes.
very soon.
Very
That's so
soon.
exciting. You're going to be entering season 27 of Law & Order SVU, which is just extraordinary.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
Thank you.
I mean, there's only a few people in television history, very, very few people who've had that kind of success with a single show. And I did want to ask one question about it, if it's okay, because you have someone who's very close to you and coming back to the show, and Kelly Giddish, and what that means to you.
It is so purely joyful to me. She is formidable actress and an incredibly creative partner, and has been such a joy and huge part of the fabric of SVU. And I love her, and I love acting with her and co-creating with her, and it feels like home with her. So I am ecstatic about her return.
Well, you're a great pair on that show, and we look forward to season 27. It is my mom, Jayne. We've been joined by the director, Mariska Hargitay. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.